Talking loud in the nighttime air. Voices clash without a care. Opinions flare like they matter so. But who's right we'll never know. Microphones like weapons drawn. Swagger in the twilight dawn. Each word iron, each thought steel. To be heard is the final deal. Howling offense in the midnight haze. Everybody's offended, each one sways. We're offended, you're offended, that's the way. Claim the night with the things we say. Truths clash like broken dreams. Voice to voice, let it scream. What's real in this foggy light? Bow hard till the morning light. Feel the hunger of the crowd. Anxious to erupt so loud. Unity in discord side. Witness as their worlds collide. Howling offense in the midnight haze. Everybody's offended, each one's ways. We're offended, you're offended, that's the way. Claim the night with the things we say. Truths clash like broken dreams. Raise your voice, let it scream. What's real in this foggy light? Battle hard till the morning light. Feel the hunger of the crowd. And just to erupt so loud. Unity in discord's tide. Witness as their worlds collide. Howling offense in the midnight haze. Everybody's offended, each one's ways. We're offended, you're offended, that's the way. Claim the night with the things we say. We say. We say. We say. We say. We say. Yes, my mother twitted my fucking temples.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to We're Offended, You're Offended. I'm Kim, and it is Wednesday. It's hump day, my favorite day. Wow, chicka, wow, wow. If you are new here, hi, hello, welcome. Don't forget to hit the little subscribe button down below, and thank you for clicking on the little button to come sit with me and listen to the craziness going on in the world today. As per usual, when you see it's just me, that means my husband's out saving the world one truckload at a time. And right now, if you are in Manitoba, you know, big snowstorm. So he did not make it home today. Otherwise, so you're stuck with me. So sorry. And also you're welcome. So today we're going to be talking about a little bit of updates on the Nancy Guthrie thing, Trump, the BBC, and the Epstein files, and a couple other little things just kind of thrown in there. Just craziness going on. But before we get into all that fun stuff, Leo, kick it.
How can we dash when our earth is turning?
They don't produce anything. They don't do anything.
How do we sleep when our beds are burning? How can we dance when our earth is turning?
Hi, it's me again. Hope y'all have had a great day. Okay, so if you are returning here, you know that for the past couple weeks, I have been talking about the Savannah Guthrie, the host of the Today Show. Her mom, Nancy Guthrie, was kidnapped. She's an 84-year-old woman who was kidnapped in Arizona. Now, with that, this is entering. Okay, so there was also a ransom note that was left out. First, it was $1 million, then it was $6 million in Bitcoin. Anyway, so nothing's really happened. The last time I reported on it was the last deadline. And as of then, there was no money in the Bitcoin wallet, if you say. I don't have any of that stuff. I'm too poor. So I don't really know what it's called. Just bear with me here. But anyway, so this is entering its third week. So the investigation intensifies. Of her whereabouts still remains unknown. The major updates as of February 18th. So that is today. Today's the 18th, guys. Where does the time go? Just saying. Anyway. So the DNA results on February 17th, the FBI confirmed that the DNA found on the glove recovered 2 miles from Nancy's home, which appeared to match those worn by the suspect in the surveillance footage, did not produce a match in the natural CODIS database. So what that means is basically this person has never been committed of any sort of crime and their DNA has been in the database as of yet. So what they're doing now is they're going for a genetic genealogy. So that's where their investigation is starting to shift. So they're starting to they're using public DNA databases to try to see if they can locate a family member of the suspect's DNA that was in the glove, just like they did with the Golden State Killer. Authorities are utilizing special technologies also called the Blue Fly device to scan for signals for Nancy's heart pacemaker in a last-ditch effort to locate her or her remains. Now, when she was kidnapped, they were talking about how she has medications she needs to be taking on the daily. She's not very overly mobile. Clearly she has a pacemaker, stuff like that. And apparently this medication is quite detrimental to keeping her alive. And again, I will say we're entering the third week. I don't know about any of y'all, but I'm a true crime buff, and normally, you know how they say it's the first 48 hours you don't find them. It's starting to look a little sad. And this is going on 3 weeks. So apparently, with the ransom notes, the ransom notes were sent to the police departments, but it was also sent to local media and media alike as well. Just like sorry, this is a live show. It was also sent to TMZ. It's a little weird. However, I guess if I were to kidnap somebody, I mean, TMZ is like, you know, they're TMZ. They're going to get the news out. And especially when it has to do with the mother of a quote unquote celebrity or public eye, somebody in the public eye. But anyway, so TMZ notes that the fourth ransom note was sent to them today, as of the 18th. The latest email increased the demand to $6 million, which I thought was weird because when I had talked to y'all last week, there was reports that the ransom initially was for $1 million and that it increased to $6 million at that time. Now they're saying that this fourth ransom note is demanding an increase of $6 million, but that's the same is what I reported on last week. However, the request for payment they're requesting payment in cryptocurrency rather than Bitcoin. So Welland Pimo County Sheriff stated that there is no evidence Nancy has been taken to Mexico. The FBI has formally asked Mexican authorities to keep a lookout for her. Tipster claimed to have seen her south of the border, though the validity is unconfirmed. Also, when I was talking to you last week, one of the suspicious people, so they were doing a lot of investigating around Savannah's sister Annie and her husband's place. And there was a lot of online suspicion from netizens and about potentially being her brother-in-law. Seemed a little suspicious. However, the family has been cleared by Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos and officially empathetically cleared Nancy's family members, all of them, including Annie, Savannah, and their spouses. He called the online speculation cruel and referred to the family as victims, plain and simple. The suspect profile that the FBI has put out so far is that they are looking for a male approximately 5'9" to 5'10", average build, seen in footage wearing a black 25-liter Ozark trail hiker pack and a Walmart brand. The reward has been increased from $200,000 to $200,000 thanks to $100,000 anonymous donation. The family plea. So Savannah has stepped away from her Today Show duties. I would like to think so. To be completely honest, if Homegirl was still going on the Today Show, reporting her news and doing her, I think she was supposed to be doing Olympic coverage. If she was still doing that at this time, I might be a little suspect. If my mom was kidnapped, I definitely wouldn't be doing anything. And as of today, there has been no physical proof of life provided by anyone claiming to hold Nancy Guthrie. So that has been my biggest contention is I can't say most ransom things because I don't really know a lot of ransom things other than what you see in movies. But normally they show a proof of life, maybe a newspaper, something or other. However, there was that one killer who took a picture of his victim and taped their eyes open, and they were holding the paper, so it made it look like they were alive, but they weren't really alive. You're welcome for sharing that. However, there's been none of that to even attempt at showing that Nancy is even still alive. I'm not really sure how the family is staying hopeful. Personally, I mean, you want to stay hopeful. It's your parent. And to be completely honest, I really do hope that they find her and she is okay and she makes it home safe and sound. I really do. But as of right now, no proof of life, no mom back yet, no body. I will keep you guys posted. So before we move on, just a couple of little quick things. So there's been a major industry shakeup. There's been a move that could redefine streaming. Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery have filed to proxy statement to move forward with a massive transaction, essentially merging the assets together. That's set for a shareholder vote on March 20th. So that could be pretty interesting. If Netflix and Warner Brothers lied, I could be interested in that. Or would be interested, whatever. What else is in the entertainment news today? So I don't know if anybody's been following the whole movie This Ends With Us and the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni drama. But as of right now, the rumors are swirling that Lively referred to Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift as her dragons in a text to Baldoni. Meanwhile, Reynolds is facing a $400 million lawsuit from insiders claiming he ran Lively's brand like a tyrant. Interesting. Shia LaBeouf is in the news. He apparently was arrested in New Orleans during Mardi Gras following an alleged altercation. His partner, Mia Goth, has publicly expressed her concern regarding his behavior, which actually disappoints me a little because he seemed to be getting his life back on track and actually really liked him. But yeah, that's it in the entertainment world anyway. Before we move on to the juicy, feed the plant, please.
Feed me Seymour. Feed
need me all night long.
Okay. So to anybody who's been following this or heard about it, so there has been a 10 billion, not million, billion dollar lawsuit Donald Trump filed against the BBC. And it's become one of the biggest legal flashpoints in 2026, largely because it involves the sitting president of the United States. And he's suing foreign taxpayer-funded broadcasters. So the breakdown is essentially, well, why he's doing this is because they had spliced together two different parts of a speech to make it seem a lot more evil, I guess, like he was trying to incite violence. The documentary Trump, A Second Chance, which aired shortly before the 2024 election, edited, BBC admitted to splicing two different parts of Trump's January 6, 2021 speech together. The edit combined and a line, about the marching to the Capitol and fight like hell comment nearly an hour later. Trump's team argues that it was a malicious attempt to make it look like he was directly inciting a riot. 100% it did. And to this day, people still talk about it. And even if you try to explain to them that that is not what he actually said, you know, it was on the TV. It was on the telly, so it's got to be true, right? No one's ever going to splice shit together. But they did. Crucially, the BBC cut out a part of the speech where he told supporters to march peacefully and patriotically. So we're going to take a look here. Where am I? Here I am. Okay. So let's take a look at this footage. So it says, according to the Leak International memo, the episode spliced together portions of Trump's speech to make it seem like he was explicitly calling for violence at the Capitol. And I remember this at the time all over the place. CNN, this news place, that news place, Fox, whatever. Like it was everywhere. Trump was a horrible human being until you actually seen the unedited version. Here we go.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
So this is what the BBC had put out. And this exact thing is what everybody's seen aired all over the place. Those exact words. We're going to march down to the Capitol Hill and we're going to fight like hell because if you don't, we're not going to have a country anymore. End quote. But what was actually said? There's lines taken from two sections of Trump's speech, 50 minutes apart. If you watch the time at the
now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. But I said, something's wrong.
Now, as you can see, so said that part. Now, if you look at the time, we went from 12:12 p.m. to 1:07 p.m. So this is 55 minutes later.
Here, something's really wrong. Can't have happened. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors have not yet begun.
What happened here today was an insurrection incited by the President of the United States. Those who choose to continue to support is a dangerous gambit by objecting to the results of a legitimate democratic election will forever be seen as being complicit in an unprecedented attack against our democracy.
But sadly, he wasn't. He had literally said peacefully, patriotically, we're going to go there. We're going to cheer them on. And unfortunately, the BBC decided to splice together two parts to make it look very insidious. And unfortunately, a lot of other news publications ran with it. It's no better than the shooter that we had in Canada like a week ago. That wonderful, one of them. A person, I think, I don't want to say. I think I remember his name, but I don't want to actually say it in case I'm wrong. But there was somebody on X who put up a photo of a guy who is a transgender, claiming that this was the guy. And then he literally had news publications who were running with the exact same photo that he posted. And it was not the same guy. They were completely different people. Yes, the shooter was a transgender, but it was not the picture. So he literally plastered this photo of an innocent man all over the place to get harassed because he didn't decide to actually do the research and make sure his info was legitimate and correct before he reported on it. And the BBC, different though, because they purposely spliced together two little pieces to make the president look like one hell of a bad person. And the thing is, when you see the edited version, to be fair, like at first I was like, oh God, why are you saying this? Like, people are going to listen to what you're saying and they're going to go and they're going to fight. Like, why did you do that? However, when you see the unedited version, everything makes so much more sense. And that is one thing I will say, and I will continue to say, do your research, look into these things. Not everything is what it seems, unfortunately. Cannot believe your lying eyes. And especially with AI these days, ugh, that's some scary shit. So that's what's going on with the BBC. So Trump isn't just asking for a standard settlement. He's divided the claim into two $5 billion halves. One $5 billion is for defamation, claiming that the edited version caused massive economic damage to his brand. The second $5 billion is for deception and trade practices, accusing the BBC of violating Florida law by using unfamiliar methods of competition to influence the US election, which I believe did influence it. So the drama has already claimed some high-profile victims within the BBC. Resignations, both the BBC Director General, Tim Davey, and the CEO of News, Deborah Turness, resigned following the leak of the internal report that raised, there we go, I got this, red flags about the edited before it aired. The apology, BBC officially apologized for pulling the apologized and pulled the documentary, but they are refusing to pay. They argue since Trump won the 2024 elections and carried Florida by a huge margin, he can't prove his reputation was actually harmed, which I don't know. When I read that, honestly, it sounds retarded. Yeah, I said it. Shock. Gasp. She said the R word. He literally is suing for massive economic damage to his brand and influencing the election. So when did the January 6th thing take place? 2021. When was he elected again? 2024. There's an election in between there that he lost. Hello. Like, he did lose the one election, regardless whether he did get in again on the other one. That's completely irrelevant. And he's talking about economic damage to his brand. There's a lot more to Trump than just being the president. He's got a bunch of businesses and stuff like that. And I would assume he's got receipts showing that there's been a decrease in profit in these businesses and stuff like that to go along with his case. I don't really know. It is what it is. But regardless, I think the BBC definitely nolchi, and you should pay. What you did, it was shady. Regardless of who it was shady. Like it's bad enough that it's hard to look or watch media and believe what they're saying to you nowadays. But you are literally proving that you cannot trust media. So again, nolchi. So you should pay. I want to see you pay. But you can pay me. I think Trump's got enough money. I could do with $1 billion. $1 million. Hey, I won't be greedy. Just $1 million. Okay. I'll give you my bank account info. Call me. So last week, on February 12th, the judge rejected BBC's attempt to delay the case. The trial date has been set for February 15th, 2027. The discovery war, the BBC is currently fighting to stop discovery, the process where they could have to hand over internal emails and texts that might reveal if editors intentionally tried to sink Trump's campaign. And it's funny because you would think if somebody doesn't have anything to hide and they're like, I want to see this info, you'd be like, okay, here you go. It's all yours. But the fact that they are trying to stop it so he can't, that's suspicious. Either that there was stuff regarding this or there's other seedy stuff in there that they didn't want to or don't want to get out. Whatever it may be, I'm intrigued. So the BBC has until March 17th, 2026 to file a formal motion to dismiss the case. And that is all that I have for Trump and the BBC. Before we move on to the next one.
Please, sir, I want some more.
I want it all of it. So this is a live show to anybody who doesn't know. Every Monday, Wednesday, 8 p.m.-ish Central Time, and Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time. You can find us we're live on Rumble, X, and YouTube. And so that's where you can find us. And so now, okay. Live show. Work with me here. So now we're going to move on to the Epstein files. Excellent. So the Epstein files have shifted from a collection of rumors to a massive chaotic data dump. As of February 2026, the situation has moved into high-stakes legal and political phase following the release of over 3.5 million pages of documents. So the Transparency Act in late January 2026, the Department of Justice finished releasing a colossal trove of files mandated by the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The dump included 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 images. I will say I was trying to look at some of these. It's so confused. There's so many, and it's literally... I got bored because it's every step that they're taking in this guy's house and on the island is like picture. And I was like, ugh, I ain't got time for this. But anyway, So the release has been widely criticized for botched redactions. In early February, investigators realized that some of the blacked out text could be revealed simply by copying and pasting it into another document. This accidentally exposed dozens of victims who had never been publicly identified, leading to massive legal backlash against the DOJ. Good job, guys. I mean, they're redacting these things, they're dumping it out. Like, I don't know if it's just because they're like, okay, well, everyone keeps complaining about it and they won't leave us alone. Here, take it. But the fact that dozens of victims literally got outed, not cool. That's disgusting, actually. You know, I'm not going to lie, when it comes to the Epstein files, I want to see the list. I want to see the actual client list. I don't want to see the list of all the people who have been in the same room as Epstein. I want to see the client list. That's what I want to know. And I want to see those people punished. So one of the people who were in the Epstein files, as most of you will know, was actually Prince Andrew. Bet y'all remember that. So he's had some consequences as of late. So late 2025, King Charles III officially stripped his brother of his prince title. He is now legally known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. What a weird name, Mountbatten. Anyway, sorry. He also, just 2 weeks ago, in February 4th of this year, Andrew was forced to move out of his longtime home, Royal Lodge in Windsor, and relocated to a remote Sandringham estate. The latest files include so these are the newest allegations. So the latest files include a 2011 letter alleging Andrew and Epstein asked an exotic dancer to exchange in sex acts at a party where some girls appeared as young as 14. Ew. British police are currently reviewing these documents to see if new charges can be brought on UK soil. The files aren't necessarily okay. So yeah, I've said this before. So the files aren't necessarily a list of co-conspirators. They could just be somebody who was in the same room or the same party, whatever it may be. So some of the noted names that they have, everybody's aware of, is Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Now, the whole Bill Clinton thing, I don't know. I mean, he had a painting of him. Seems a little suspicious. However, that being said, devil's advocate here, I could always paint somebody or do an AI version of somebody in a seedy situation and then use that as blackmail to shut your mouth. Who knows? And Donald Trump. So both names appear thousands of times in various flight logs, schedules, and email chains. While many of these are mundane, they continue to be used as political ammunition. So again, we have talked about on our podcast before about how Trump was working with FBI agents to help take down Epstein. They were in same social circles, stuff like that. Like I'm sorry, but it's one of those things where it's like, I need proof. Like, people want to accuse him because you were in the Epstein files. Do you know how many people are in the Epstein files? Like, there was, I don't have the video. There was this video that my kid sent me of, actually, hold on. Give me one sec. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. It's a juicy. Kind of. Where are we here? Can't be that far back. Don't worry, I won't give this much time. If I don't find it right away, then I quit. God, my kid sends me a lot of shit. Okay, I don't know where it is. You might have sent it to me on a different platform. I don't even know. But basically, she's some high up there person. Oh, I just found it. Excellent. One moment. Okay. Oh, not me. Stop sharing. And then share. Yes, I'm talking you through what I'm doing. You're welcome. That's what I do. Talk to myself all the time. But now you get to listen to me. Okay. So this was Lady Victoria Hervey.
Can see from these, the thing is, what people can see from these Epstein files, he knew everybody that was very powerful. So like if you were on the scene and you were powerful, like to be honest, like if you're not in those files, it would be an insult. Because it just means that you were a bit of a loser.
Isn't that fucking insane? Crazy. No problem saying it out loud too. She was just totally upfront and honest about that shit. She was dating Prince Andrew at one point, so it makes sense she would say that. Yeah, no, I know. It's pretty clear why she said that. Can't just...
Regardless of why she said it, I mean, in the social circle that these people live in, it's a completely different world than any of us live in. Completely different. And unfortunately, she's not wrong. Like, I mean, Epstein was the guy, whether you knew what he did or didn't, he was a very popular guy. And he was around a lot of social circles. And if you were on those files, that just meant that you were also a popular person, whether it was in politics, Hollywood, etc. at the time. I know that it sounds disgusting. But that's just it. I don't know. Everybody just keeps running with this. Like, oh, so-and-so's in the Epstein file. Guess what? Justin Trudeau was in the Epstein file. So was Mark Carney. So was Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, shit. So, we'll get to that, though. So, there's also been, here we go. So the new names that we've seen that were dumped on the list was figures like spiritualist Deepak Chopra, 4chan founder Christopher Poole, and various former White House counsels have appeared in email chains discussing finances and meetings. So you also need to realize that other than Epstein's disgusting job, his prime job, I guess, he was like a freaking money guy. He was a money guy. So the fact that Trump was a money guy doesn't really surprise me that they would have had talks when it came to potential financing or whatever. I'm not shocked or surprised at all. And again, there's thousands of people on these lists, and I'm not going to assume every single person on this list is a pedophile. I'm sure there's a massive chunk of them. You know who you are. Dirties. But not all. So the entertainment impact, so there's been other name drops like Chappelle Rowan and Whoopi Goldberg. They have had to issue public clarification or distance themselves from agencies after internal documents surfaced. So, and the funny thing is, like, I guess Whoopi Goldberg put out a statement stating that there was no wrongdoings. Like she's in the Epstein file, but it's not what you think, and da-da-da. And The funny thing is that she can go out there and say that it wasn't nefarious, it wasn't had anything to do with it, it was just in passing, or because it had to do with this or that, whatever it may be. But then when Trump does it, it's like, sure, we know why you were in there. Like it's ridiculous. It's like you put you're literally in there too. So if you're going to sit there and start casting everybody as this horrible person, guess what, sweetie? You're in there too. So I guess you're one of them. Or shut up and wait for proof. Okay. So there's also been controversy with the whole ending of life. So the files include an internal DOJ notes about the night Epstein was no longer on this planet. In 2019, one investigator noted that a new batch mentions that Epstein's final communication did not look like a typical ending of your life note, which has resonated conspiracy theories, even though official reports still maintain it was a self-exit. Right. You can keep maintaining that all you want, but anybody knows. We all know. We know it wasn't a ending of his own life. So despite the millions of pages, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanchet stated on February 3rd that new charges against high-profile figures are unlikely, sparking outrage from survivors and UN human rights experts who are calling the network a global criminal enterprise, which I will agree with. And the sad thing is, like, as much as I want to see these files, I want to see the names, I want to see the list of the actual clients. Is anything going to happen to these people? Probably not. I mean, P. Diddy's still walking out, or, you know, he didn't get charged with what he should have been charged with. I don't know. These people got lawyers, and as soon as the thing is with the court of law, as soon as there's any sort of reasonable doubt, the bad guy won. That's it. I think I would love to see the people on the client list actually go to jail for their actions, actually atone for their actions, and take accountability and consequences. And unfortunately, it is highly unlikely that that is going to happen. And we're all sitting there demanding that these things be released and that we want to see the names, but then what's going to happen? I don't know. There's a lot of other people who like very young people out there, actors, whether you're in, what is that show called that my parents watch? Coronation Street, or oh my God, I just lost his name. Whatever. There's a lot of actors and stuff like that who have been caught doing these type of things. And you're still watching their movies. You're still buying their albums, R. Kelly. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you have any sort of morals, yeah, you're going to stop watching their movies, stop letting them make money, stop buying their albums. But there's too many people out there who just don't care, and it's sad. But we can all hope. We can hope that one day these people will come to justice and the names will finally be released, and not the victims. I don't want to know the victims' names. I don't want to see those photos. I don't want to see those videos. I just want the client list. That's it. The rest of the stuff, it should be away, far away. I will say, from the photos that I did see of Epstein's place, ew, he had like the worst design stuff happening in there. It was gross and creepy. There was one room that looked like it had like a a dentist chair or something. And there were these creepy, like, masks on the wall. Something like nightmare fueled. I don't know. That house is creepy AF. And you're welcome for sharing with you. All right. That's all I got for you. That's all I got. Again, if you are not returning and you are new here, this is the live show every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. You can check us out in all the places listed in the description box below. You can also find the videos and stuff like that that I had posted are listed in the description box below. Do your own research, come up with your own thoughts, opinions, whatever it is I'm trying to say. And otherwise, I will see you again on Saturday. I hope every one of you have a fantastic rest of your week. Be kind to one another. And I'll see you later. I'm out.